Chapter 5.
Zakafyah.
February 17th, 1985, on early Sunday morning, DEA Bob was parked across the street with members of his team. He saw Michael Corleone and the housemaid going to the park to play toy guns. Now Bob and his partner went through the front door, then signaled the others to go through the back door. Gripping guns tight, quick surveillance check, then quickly racing upstairs. Kicked open the door and I met with a shock. Griselda in bed, reading the Bible. Bob shows his credentials, said, "Hola Griselda." She said, "No, me, I'm a Betty." Then Agent Palumbo approaches Blanco and makes a bold move, gently kisses both cheeks like the Italians. Kiss of death. Palumbo thought it was fitting at the time. Then Michael, who was only age 6 at the time, saw helicopters in the sky circling the house. So he ran back home and saw the place was a mess. Ran straight to Griselda and hugged his mama. And his mom said to him, "I don't know who these cops are, saying that I am, but they're taking me away. So you'll have to go with them, but I'll see you soon and you will see me again. I love you, my son." Then Corleone was ushered off to the county orphanage, while his mama was taken to the federal detention. Bob Palumbo and his team were so happy. They went back to the office and had a big celebration. With so much investigation and so much observation, they said yes, and with the evidence, she has to go to prison. Blanco sent back to Miami to face trial for the Operation Banshee indictment issued 10 years ago. The feds also issued a second indictment against the Queen of Cocaine and her 3 big sons on June 25th. 1985, she was on trial in the Sovereign US District Court, charged with involvement in a drug operation with Alberto Bravo, who is now deceased. The defense's strategy to blame it on Bravo to make out like Blanco is a timid housewife. But the prosecution has an eyewitness, a former drug smuggler from Blanco's camp, Miss Kamakaban, who was the paramour of the right-hand man for Griselda Blanco, the very man who was responsible for the cocaine trafficking that Bravo and Blanco conducted in the city. Then on July the 10th, 1985, the jury finds Blanco guilty, the international narco trafficker. She got sentenced to 15 years in the federal prison, but Bob Palumbo was vexed. He wanted Blanco to get more. And on dismantling her drug operation, the DEA is hunting her 3 big sons. Then they finally catch them and handcuff and arrest them. Uba Dixon and Osvaldo. They put all 3 on trial and the boys pled guilty to conspiracy to distribute cocaine. They all got 12 years in the federal prison, and Blanco on top of the 15 years from the New York trial gets another 10 years from her Florida crimes. But in an unexpected ruling, Griselda, the queenpin, is allowed to serve her terms concurrently, and young Michael Corleone is sad and distraught that his mama and his big brothers are incarcerated. Corleone had to grow up quick mentally and accept the reality. Now Blanco in 1985 in the federal women's prison near San Francisco, she meets Jamaica Thompson, former queenpin of crack. They had a good connection in prison, became good friends. Blanco went to the chapel every single day and talked to Jamaica about God and life. Jamaica realized Blanco was humble, loving and caring, and saw a different side. Blanco still lived like a queen in the prison, still had maids doing everything for her. Her makeup, her cooking, her cleaning, her washing. She took care of them and they took care of her. Still estimated at over $1 billion. She's dressed in Gucci and Louis Vuitton, wearing 18-carat and 22-carat rings and chains and heels in style whilst in the prison. Now in 1993, Jorge Riviera, Blanco's trusted hitman, pleads guilty to murder. Rivi got charged with 3 hits, and Rivi was staring down a death sentence. So Rivi flipped. Rivi cuts a deal, was Blanco's top hitman. He has all the dirty secrets where all the bodies are buried. Who did what, when and where? Rivi's got the answers. So now they're seeing Rivi as a precious star witness. On July the 28th, 1994, state prosecutors in Miami are charging Blanco with 3 counts of murder, cold-blooded murders. Blanco starts panicking, this can't be happening. Desperate to avoid a murder conviction, Blanco hatches an audacious plan to kidnap the Prince of Camelot, John F. Kennedy Jr., the son of the former president, John F. Kennedy. She plans to hold him for ransom, to trade his freedom for her freedom, to get her out of prison. But her connections said it's too risky and backed off and never went through with the plan. So now Griselda's at the end of her rope, and now she's dreading that electric chair in the prison with her hands on her face, say no, 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 something has to get me out of here. In the month of February 1998, as Griselda's case approaches trial, it's rocked by a big bombshell revelation. The prosecution star witness, Reevy's been engaging phone sex with a secretary from the prosecutor's office. This creates a major problem from the state's attorney office, because now they got a credibility issue. VV phone sex scandal, was it planned or was it natural? It essentially obliterated the prosecution's case against Griselda Blanco, so they offered her a plea to salvage the case and not to lose it completely. And Griselda Blanco agrees to taking the plea. Blanco pled guilty to second-degree murder and now takes her mind off the electric chair. So now Griselda's actual sentence was revised to reflect the guidelines that were in effect in the 80s when she committed her crime. 3 cold-blooded murders ordered by Blanco. Phone sex scandal. Blanco just got 7 years, like a slap on the wrist, but I had no choice cause of the hole in the case. Rivy and the secretary, Bob Palombo pissed off, can't believe his eyes, can't believe what he's actually hearing in his ears. Reminiscing on the kiss of death that he gave Griselda, dreaming of seeing her in the electric chair. In the month of June 2004, after 720 years locked behind bars, Griselda Blanco, at the age of 61, is released from prison and deported to Colombia, just like Blanco's 3 oldest sons, Dixon, Ube, and Osvaldo, when they were released and deported back to Colombia 6 years earlier. Now it's her turn. She arrived in Colombia with no empire. The cocaine godmother is finally home. Been so many years, but she's finally home, getting hugs and kisses from all of her sons, and they sold a few properties to set her up nicely to live the lifestyle that she was accustomed to. She kept a low profile, living back in Colombia, as many of her enemies had wanted her dead. Nearly 40 years of rule in the cocaine world. The cocaine queen has outlived many. Most of her competitors, most of her enemies, most of her lovers, and she is still here. From when it all started at the age of 11, now she's 70 plus years. So much events, inspired, transpired, and expired, and now the queen of cocaine has basically retired. But in 2012, September the 3rd, Blanco went meat shopping down at the butcher's when 2 people pulled up on a motorbike, and the person at the back of the motorbike jumped off and walked up to Griselda and shot Griselda twice at close range, 2 in the head. Griselda dropped down, crashed into the ground, and the shooter jumped back on the motorbike and sped off. And that was the end of the cocaine godmother, cocaine queenpin, cocaine drug baron, cocaine mobster, cocaine matriarch, cocaine trafficker, cocaine smuggler. Griselda Blanco, killed in Colombia. Born February 14th, 1943 to September the 3rd, 2012.